Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, we are going to be troubleshooting, diagnosing, and hopefully fixing a lower end leak on your chainsaw. Let's get after it. Welcome to Man Time. So first things first, if you can't tell, I take great pride in my personal appearance. If superficialities like that are something that concerns you, this relationship probably isn't going to work. But when it comes to chainsaws, I take the utmost care and precision in what I'm trying to do here. So this saw, I just got done porting it. It's got this nice big honking muffler on it. Oh yeah, these bar studs that are aftermarket, they're junk. They just fall right back inside. You got to get the OEM ones. So I've got some of those on order. Also, the boot here for the carb, that's a aftermarket loose fit. This saw was just in bad shape. The throttle, the trigger, the linkage, like everything was damaged. I had to replace a bunch of stuff. But anyways, I got it all running. I got it ported. It was running good. Till the first time I put it in the wood, and as soon as I pulled it out, it just goes bah! What the heck? And then, you know, restarted it, adjusted the carb a little bit, and what was happening was I'd get it running fine, and then I'd go to turn it over to adjust it, and it'd start running weird. It'd be like more lean or more rich. I'd flip it over the other way, same thing, more lean, more rich. So those are symptoms that you have a bottom end leak, especially at idle. It was different. I think you can kind of tune around it when you get up high, and maybe it started from, you know, the higher RPMs, higher compression, everything that we did to this saw. We took it, you know, way to the max with our squish, compression, speed. Everything is way up there, but. So it would idle fine, and then you'd flip it over and it'd go, whoa. I mean, noticeably different RPM. Noticeably different RPM, right? So that's what you're looking for when you're trying to diagnose a bottom end leak. That's one of the symptoms. Now, the next thing that I'm going to tell you, this video isn't for the chainsaw professional, right? Because they're going to say, well, just leak test it. Oh. Duh, just leak test it. I mean, just shut the video off and leak test it, right? Well, not all of us have a block-off plate and a gasket made for both the intake and the exhaust. You know, this has this boot on here, so how you would leak test it would be that you would make block-off plates that you would either pressurize or vacuum check to make sure you aren't losing vacuum, right? Well, we don't have that stuff to do that, so we're going to talk about the normal man's way of checking for leaks on here. So let's get on the bench and see how I did it. Now, the first thing you want to do is like just a visual inspection, right? First thing you need to do is take your flywheel off of here. I still got everything loose. You're going to need a 2-job puller that's going to grab from both sides, and then you can get it off of there. But that's the only way. Banging on here on an old saw like this is not going to get it done, and you may slide your crank to one side or the other, which you don't want either, right? But I tried it, you know, like anybody. I want the easiest way to do the job. That was not working, so now I've got to somehow figure out how I can make sure the crank is still perfectly centered in the case here. So if you're looking for a reliable system, the way to do it is probably to split the case, change the bearings and change the seals, regardless if they work or not. I am trying to make a reliable system out of this saw, and I didn't do that. So we're stuck here. But looking at this seal, like, there's no visible kind of damage going on here, right? Like, it's still pliable, it's still snug. The crankshaft doesn't have any play, like in the case, in the bearing. There's nothing here that's telling me that there's any damage or anything is wrong with it until I put some lube on here, and hopefully I can get it to recreate, because these are the problems that mechanics oftentimes have, right? They can't get the scenario to be recreated. And I tried it with soapy water, and I couldn't get it to recreate with soapy water either. But by moving the piston up and down with a plug in there, I'm able to get pressure building up in the cylinder. And now I'm not able to recreate. Let's see if we can get the situation to recreate here with the... Yeah, this thing is... See it? You guys see the air bubbles start popping up out of there? That was a little difficult. But you could see blop, 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 blop as it was going around there. Maybe. But anyways, these are the hardest problems to try to fix, the ones that aren't recreatable, right? Let's see if we can do it again. And keep it in frame here. Yeah, big air bubbles. Every time it would leak there, it was popping that big air bubble out of there. I couldn't get it to do it with the soap, but I didn't try a drill on it when I was working on it late last night. But there you go. And I mean, just looking at that seal, I mean, that looks like a good seal, right? I mean, nothing wrong with anything I'm seeing on this seal, but it is bad. So here we go. Here is the tool that I made to help me get these seals out of here. Now, we know it's bad. You got to make sure that you have a backup seal, right? But you're going to dig down kind of inside of here and then try to pop it off. So let's see if we can do that. I want to get it underneath, and then there we go. If we can't just pry it up out of here. There we go. Yeah, this tool is really essential for getting that out of there. Your regular little pick is not going to do the job. So I guess before you do that, make sure you have a replacement seal. I should probably check that. I managed to find a replacement seal here, and you want to make sure to check, you know, OD, ID. Oh, look at there. See? And that's why you check. This particular saw here, it's got two different seals on it, right? One's big, one's small, like that. This one is for the other side. So that's why you want to check that there. That's the right one. Okay. So as you're going down here, I've got this all cleaned up. I've got it lubed. So that's going to slide down there, making sure that we aren't prolapsed or have that edge kind of rolled up. Again, we've cleaned our mating surfaces now with a socket that's the same diameter and a brass hammer here. We're going to try to drive this in straight. And you want to make sure to get it started straight. See there, it was kind of down on one side, and then I just came over to this other side and trued it up. Now we can try to drive it in there straight. And check it as you're going. See, not straight. This side is not going down. So there, now it's down. So there. And it was just kind of below the ridge. Looks like this side is still just a little bit further up than everything else. So take the time to look at it. That looks like it is good and straight in there. Again, the distance all the way around the edge here looks to be the same. Okay, I think we're good there. Now we can try the soap test again, see how it plays out. Alright, let's give this guy another go. Get that bottomed out on there. Now you're fighting the compression on the saw here, so see that? No big bubbles coming up out of there. I think we solved it. And we didn't need to do a compression check or a leak check using any kind of special tools that we don't have, right? All we needed was our brain to kind of figure out what we needed there to see a leak. And replace that seal, again using this special tool. And this is just a flathead with a, this part's cut off of it, and then that part's cut off of it, and it was able to dig right in there and pry it off. But you're going to need to make one of those. Go down to your local pawn shop and get a 25-cent screwdriver so you don't waste one of your good ones. Alright, man, there you have it. How to diagnose, troubleshoot, and fix a lower-end seal leak from your chainsaw. That's going to do it for today on Man Time. Get out there, have you some man time too.